Hey everyone, Corporal Sharks here. Welcome back to my channel. Now, on this channel we like to have a lot of fun. We do a lot of shooting, we learn some stuff, good times. Today I'm going to be a little bit more serious and talk about something I think everyone needs to hear, or at least be reminded of occasionally. And that is the 4 basic safety rules when it comes to handling firearms. So, don't tune me out yet. It might be something you want to hear. If you think it's a little boring, hey, I don't blame you. It's boring, but it's necessary. So, that being said, let's get on with it. Why are these rules important? These 4 basic rules are important for everyone who handles a firearm, for anyone who claims they will never handle a firearm, anyone who hates firearms, anyone. Firearms exist. Adults, children, everyone should be aware of these 4 basic rules. Because when we follow these rules, fewer accidents happen. The number 1 rule for handling any firearm, I don't care if it's a pistol, a revolver, a rifle, any firearm. Number 1 rule, always treat it as if it's loaded. Now I know that sounds kind of silly because sometimes you know it's not loaded. The idea here is to build good habits. If I treat it like it's loaded, even when I know it's not loaded, then when it is loaded, I'm going to be that much safer. We've all heard the phrase, "Oh, I thought it wasn't loaded." If you always treat it as if it's loaded, that won't happen, or shouldn't happen. Rule number 2, never point the muzzle at anything you're not willing to destroy. Now that sounds a bit extreme, but think of it this way. This is your muzzle. Bullets come out of this muzzle and fly down range. Once they've left this muzzle, there's nothing you can do to stop them. So anything that this thing was pointed at is where that bullet is going to go. So you need to be aware of what you're pointing it at. Always. No matter what. Never point it at anything you don't want to destroy. Okay? Simple. Rule number 3. Rule number 3 has more to do with when you're using a firearm. But it's just as important as the other 3 rules. That is, know your target and its backstop. What that means is, if I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to send a bullet out that muzzle, I need to know what I'm shooting at, and I need to know what's beyond what I'm shooting at. Get what I'm saying? Because sometimes bullets go through things and into other things. Rule number 4. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Okay, most modern firearms will not fire unless you pull the trigger. Simple rule. If I set this down on the table, it's a paperweight. It's not going to do anything. It is not a firearm until I pull that trigger. So keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. In review, 1. Treat all firearms as if they're loaded. It builds good habits. 2. Never point it at anybody or anything that you're not willing to put a bullet through. 3. Know your target and what's beyond it. If you're going to pull the trigger, know what you're doing. And 4. Don't put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to fire. Well, there you go. 4 simple, basic rules to safely handle firearms. When followed, they can help prevent unwanted injuries and accidents. Something everybody should know. Because even if you think you will never encounter a firearm in your life, the one time it does, it's better to be educated and informed than ignorant. Again, thanks for stopping by, watching the video. I hope you learned a little something. Like, subscribe if you want to see more content. And as always, be good people, never give up. 4 basic rules for safe, God, I can't talk today.